So now what I'm going to do is I'd like to go in and start binding up this character. Maybe just a bit before I bind up, I should do something like all these bones right here. Sometimes when I want to get back to this exact position, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. I might want to do things like freeze out the transforms and stuff like that. I'm going to leave that out for now. Actually, maybe I should. Going in here and just in case I've got like some weird scale values. So I got some weird scale values. They're all uniform in here, but they're okay. If I go up and under skeleton, there's a thing called orient joint, because if you moved your joints around, they kind of aren't happy. And I do X, Y, Z and negative Z. Great. If I hit apply, sometimes I'll get a warning down here at the bottom. It says it doesn't want to do it because it's got non-zero rotations. So to get the zero rotations out, I've got to freeze the transformations, and then I can hit apply, and it did it. So my joints are changed, the orientations changed. So you can see the little red lines are all pointing down to the next joint and everything like that. Okay, great, done. And another thing I want to do though right here before I start getting crazy is I'd like to get it so that in case I rotate these joints and do stuff with them, right, I want to get them back to that exact same position again. There's a thing where you can grab the root joint, and if you right click, you can say set preferred angle, and it's going to set the preferred angle on every joint. So that means if I go and I grab this and I rotate it, I do that. If I just go over here to this joint and I go assume preferred angle, I'm right clicking, boop, it all goes back to that same position. And this can save you a whole schwack of time. Okay, so that's done. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all these pieces of geometry, and if I just go up like that, I've grabbed those. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'll just grab this and, god damn it, hold down this, hold down shift, grab the pants, grab this, okay, and we'll save that head for afterwards. I'm just going to bind this up, and then I will make blend shapes and stuff like that. I'll rig this stuff up, and I'm going to make blend shape for the head, and I'm going to bind it afterwards. What I'm going to do is just take all these pieces here, grab the skeleton, and here under skeleton, or skin rather, bind skin, there's something here called the smooth bind. If I open up the options on that, joint hierarchy is set up. Great. Closest point. I like the maximum influences to be 3. And there's this thing here called drop off. And drop off, here, if I go in here and I go reset settings, you see there's maximum influences 3. And maintain maximum influence, I like to turn that one off. Drop off rate, it says 4. 4 is really good for the torso, but not the rest of it. All these other hands and the legs and the feet and everything like that works really well if you put it up to 10. So if I hit apply on that, so just bound those. Now you see when you have the skeleton selected, it turns the geometry purple. And I'm just going to grab this, and I'll grab skeleton. I'm going to grab the shirt again. Doesn't matter which order you do it in. And I put this thing back to 4. And I'm going to hit apply. And now you just see that the drop-off is just going to change a little bit. And we see the deformation here. Boop. See now my skeleton goes in and does this. And if I grab the elbow, it does a really nice job of deforming my mesh right off the bat because I put in that setting. And then it kind of gets this nice doughy reaction here in the torso. Okay, so I can start posing this thing and check out how the poses are working. Whoop. And where am I going to see it? I'm going to see some problems here. It's okay, but then you can see this thing stretching like crazy, and what's this toe looking like? Okay, and so this works okay. Actually, one other thing is really awesome is just seeing how well this that setting of drop off of 10 handles the fingers. Okay, it does a really nice job on the fingers typically, and it just did there. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to adjust how it's influencing. By default, this has done a wonderful, wonderful job, but I still want to change some things. Particularly, you can see it here in the foot and sometimes in the hands and in the head. It's really obvious. And actually, what does it do for the knee? And the knee works quite well up until here, and then I can see a bit of a problem. Anyway, what I'm going to do to change this and adjust how the skeleton is influencing the geometry is under skin. There's a thing in here called edit smooth skin, and there's something called paint skin weights. And by painting the skin weights, come on. When I grab this thing, you can see how there says knee, ankle, ball, and toe. This one here, the ankle should be affecting this. If you're using the paint skin weights tool, if you use add, I can almost guarantee if you use this exclusively, you're not going to have any problems. If you play with smooth or replace, but problems might occur. Smooth is the devil. It works sometimes really well, and then it's going to crash on you. I'm going to be using add, and I'm just going to keep adding this in right here to the ankle. So that the ankle's affecting this thing, the heel here, pretty much 100%. And actually I'm just going to hit save. Okay, and then right here, I'll see what happens if I'm going to be playing with the devil. And the devil seems to be doing a nice job right now. So that toe looks like it's handling it quite well. What about the ball of the foot? That should be fine. I'm just going to move over to this thing, grab the tool again, and let's go zipping down to the ankle. And we see the ankle's influencing this area. I want it to influence a bit more. Why is this going really slow? It's because I got the frickin' smooth on. Let's go back to add. I could have crashed right there, really bad. Also, too, remember that when you're using this tool, try not to hit undo. Undo sometimes will flake out on you, and you're going to be under the table crying. Save lots. Once you get something done and you're really happy with it, save it. Okay, waiting. Everybody goes, well, isn't it like 100% figured out? It's straightforward, but it's a little bit screwy. And now I'm just going to see what happens if I hit smooth and bring this back a little bit. Maybe not. Here's another little trick you can do. I go in and I grab all those edges, and I hit Control F9, and I go back to my tool here. Now, just those vertices are selected, so the only thing that's going to be affected by this, I put on Smooth, and I'm going to hit Flood. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And I don't like that at all. I'm just going to put it to Add, and I'm going to add it to the knee. Flood. And what if I hit Smooth now and hit Flood, 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 Flood? What if I put it to the ankle? If I put it to the ankle, it sucks. And there's another thing you can use to just right now. There's the knee, and it's all bending it. What do I want to show that yet? I'm not going to show that one. At this point, I'm just going to go in here and try and paint this thing into place. Because this one here, I'm wondering if I actually placed that right. And got this thing on the knee. And if I put it on Add, make my brush a little bit smaller, holding down B. And if I bring this in there, okay, that's not so bad. Ankle, and don't forget that you've got the opacity you can play with as well, so I can play with this and bring this in so it's not quite 100%. Bring that back up. Here we go. And did I get that one back up again? There, good enough. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm on the knee. And the knee, this is weighted not quite enough. What time are we at? 9 minutes. Okay, so that's good. I might bring this up a little bit. And like I said, some people like the paint weights, and there's another thing in here for paint for weighting that you might like, and I'm going to show that a bit later when I do the head. And right here we're on the hip, and if we go up a little bit, hip, and maybe these ones here may need to go back to that hip joint, and I'll do this. And this is where the devil would come in handy. The smooth is going to work really well in this area because you can just go in and okay, and hopefully I don't crash when I do this. Yeah, sometimes this thing just works way too well, and you're tempted to use it all the time. You get really comfortable, and just when you get really comfortable, it's going to crash on you. Anyway, this is coming up to the 10-minute mark, and I'm going to say this is close enough to done.